All right, shalom, shalom. That's the brother Mawasar,
Shalom, Mr. Brother Shemawa all.
right? And today, hey, we going into part two of the last video we just did on the fall of this place that we live in called America, right? So I'm gonna let my brother Shemawa get in there.
Khan, Shalom, Akim. All right. All praise to the Most High. We're doing the part two. All right, Lord willing, brothers and sisters enduring. The day is breaking, man. That summer coming in, man. Most High willing, brothers being diligent, sisters being diligent. But right now, we got a part two, right? Isaiah chapter 19, the fall of America. They building bunkers and they thinking they gonna be safe, man. But the Lord coming, man. The Lord is coming, right? I don't know where we left off at, but we just gonna go to Isaiah 19 and 15, right? Yahweh Shai coming back. They're gonna try to call on other gods, and really there's only one true God. They're gonna go to damn, all they sorceries, the magicians, and all they counselors. They're gonna like I say, they building bunkers. I mean, this ain't nothing new. They end up bringing it out again. So like you. They end up bringing it out again. They building bunkers, but the Lord is going to take that counsel away. The Lord is going to take all their wisdom away. He's cutting all their wisdom off, all their understanding. Every decision they're going to make is going to be their downfall. And they're really making it worse because the bunkers is not going to save them, right? All you doing is adding more destruction to your life, right? So we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15, right? It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, right? So nobody's gonna be working. It's gonna be a economic collapse, right? And as we reach in today, it's gonna be no work, no grocery stores, damn Gucci and Nike. It ain't gonna be none of those things. All the things that you love to wear, you love to put on, you love to do, it won't be none of that, right? Let's get Job real quick precepts. Job chapter 18, right? Job chapter 18, verse 5, it says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and a spark of his fire shall not shine. Right? So that light of the wicked, hey, they shining bright right now. But their light is dimming as you see all hell is breaking loose. You got damn the Jewish man is being burnt on fire, getting bombed. Ukraine, they destroyed. All hell is breaking loose, man. They are destroyed. So their light is dim, and it says, yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Right? It says, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. Right? And we also have a candle. Our spirits are a light, our spirits are a candle. And the Lord can blow that out any given time. But with the heathens, he's slowly putting that light out, sprinkling water on it. Next thing you know, the Lord is going to easily blow it out. But as you see that light is dimming as all hell breaking loose, right? This is going to happen. We're reading it in the scriptures. All his knowledge, all his wisdom and understanding, the Lord is cutting it off. It's all on the left hand side. It doesn't last long. This is why Jake is always in a lower state. He have a wicked thought, wisdom on the left hand side. He feel good. Next thing you know, he back depressed. Next thing you know, he's in a low state of mind. He confused, and now he doesn't have stability, mental stability. He's jammed up because that wisdom and knowledge on the left hand side doesn't last long, as you see what's going on in Babylon, right? So all that wisdom and understanding is gonna be gone, man. Right? Let's go to Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 2. Right? This is the fall of America, man. The fall of America. And if you're not happy that this happening, you gotta fix your spirit, man. And if this not drilling in your head to get it together, you better fix your spirit, man. Right? So Zephaniah, right? Pages are stuck together. All right, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 15. It reads, "This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly." Hey, that's how America is, man. They deal carelessly. They don't care about nothing. All the things that they do, right? All the decrees that they put out, all the judgments that they put out, they don't care. All the festivals that they put out, all the witchcraft that they put out, they don't care. They deal carelessly. Look at Trump. He deal carelessly. He don't give a damn. I like to say this. He's nothing but a spoiled brat with money. That's just what he is. And he just do whatever he want to do. He just a toddler, man. He a toddler with money, man. He just go out there and just, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Everything gonna be all right. And then sip a Capri Sun. And then watch all hell break loose and say everything is okay when it's not. That's how you know the Lord got his hands on the heart of these kings, man. He's the one that's ruling. Right? It says, "This is the rejoicing city." And we know America loves to rejoice. They rejoice on the rape, rob, and murder that they did to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And if you don't see that, you're blind. You're blind, right? This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, "I am, and there is none beside me." Look at that. Look at the damn dollar. "In God we trust." That's off. "In God we trust," man. And then I forgot what live I was watching. This is the time when Trump had his little speech, and they was praying. They always praying. They always praying, man. Mocking. I mean, ultimately, they praying to Satan, but they really trying to put an image to people who can't see that, oh, they praying to the Most High God, but they really not. They praying to Satan. They making fun of the prophets, man. They making fun of the saints. And if you don't see that, something is wrong with you. Right? It says, "In her heart I am, and there is none beside me." America is prideful, right? How is she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? Everyone that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his head. And that time is coming. That time is coming. Everybody gonna hiss and wag their head. This city, this rejoicing city, what happened to them? Hey, the Most High God, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, man, cast them down. So that time is coming, man. Right? Let's get back to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 16. It says, "In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it," man. It said they shall be like unto women, right? How does a woman act, right? When she has no protection. She's all over the place. She's screaming her lungs out. She's powerless, man. She has no hope. That's how America's gonna be. That's how spiritual Egypt is gonna be, man. That's how Babylon's gonna be, right? They're not gonna have no protection or nothing. All their tanks, their bombs, their military base, right? I mean, all the guns that they have, the bombs and the jeeps and helicopters and all these things is not gonna protect them when the Lord cracked the sky. When all of Israel come back together as one, it's over with, man. There's no protection. And when a woman has no protection, she's powerless, man. She's weak. She's crying, you know. And I don't want to say that with my sisters. I want you to imagine the so-called white woman. I don't want you to imagine your sisters. But you see it today, you know, when it was going on. But imagine Esau. She saw, man. She's crying. She's red. She don't know what to do. Got snot running out her mouth. She lost. She's dirty. She barely got clothes on. Hey, that's gonna be Babylon, man. Right? Because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts. Right? Verse 17. It says, "In the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt." And we are terror unto Egypt, man. We are terror unto America. We fear them. When they see a so-called Mexican and a Negro together, don't you know how much that scares them? You got all so-called different nationalities. I'm gonna say that. so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans all together in one in order, that puts fear in them. We are terror to them, right? Let's get Matthew chapter 7. We teach with authority. We they tell us when to get off the block. Hey, we negotiate. What we getting off for? They try to set these laws. We know what actually the law to what it says. We know what laws they trying to put out that we're not doing. What's it called? Peddling or something like that, I believe. Peddling. We're not selling nothing. We doing this for free. We're not selling anything. We just going out there and tell our people to keep the commandments of the Most High God. They don't like that. They don't like that at all. They don't like that we actually trying to save our people, have our people to be in order. Y'all already got what y'all got. Why we can't get what we want? That I gotta have a cake and eat it too spirit. If I'm paraphrasing it right. This Matthew chapter 7 and verse 28, it says, and it came to pass when Yahushua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine. And that's how that be. They astonished at our doctrine, right? Because all these wicked counsels that they have, man, all these philosophies and all these heresies, man, they put it out there. When they hear our doctrine that the Lord is only coming for Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and we can actually prove it, hey, they astonished at that, man. They shocked, right? Verse 29, it says, for he taught them as one having authority. And when we teach the Bible, what the Bible actually say, we teach it with authority. We may raise our voice, we got eloquent speech. Hey, his brothers out there that's saying vocabulary I never heard of, and that intimidates them. They see a so-called black man that used to be a street dude. He got records on his, background. His background dirty, but he out there teaching the Bible and know what he's talking about. That's the spirit of the Most High, and they scared of that. We are terror to them, man. We nothing but an abomination to them, right? And Yahushua did that. Yahushua was a terror to some of our people. He was definitely a terror in that Roman Empire, man. Yahushua was a force. And us being under him, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we have that same force. And we are terror to them, man. They don't like that. They can see it in your face. They see it how you walk. That's why when you walk past an Edomite, they had that little grin. I call it the grilled cheese. They had that little grin, man. And that's really, and I found out from my brother, this is why the Lord called them a fox. Another way, because foxes, when they in sudden fear, they smile. That's exactly what Esau do. Because that's fear, man. They feel that spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And we not playing games now. They clock, they on the time. It's ticking. And that clock getting real loud. Click, click, click. Hey, it's getting real loud, man. Right? So we go to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 17. I'm gonna finish that out. In the land of Egypt shall be a terror unto, in the land of Judah, Salakia, shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he have determined against it. Because of the counsel, man. They hear the counsel of the Lord. If you don't let my people go, I'm going to destroy you. If my people don't depart out of Egypt, you're going to take part of her plagues. That's the counsel that they're getting. And what? It's dreadful to them. They don't want to hear that, man. They don't want to hear that. Let's get that. Job chapter 15. What makes you think they want to hear that? They want to make America great again. What's making America great again? Jake in shackles. Jake having damn jingle bells on his neck again. We picking cotton again. It's damn nothing but black bathrooms and white bathrooms. The fitting rooms only, whites only. That's what they want to go back to. Right? This Job chapter 15 and verse 20. Right? It reads, the wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden to the oppressor. It says the number of his years are hidden to the oppressor. His days are numbered, right? Verse 21, a dreadful sound is in his ears. That's a dreadful sound to him. That this place is going to get destroyed. That the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans is going to get back together. They're going to rule this earth, right? You going back into slavery. That's a dreadful in their ears, man. They don't want to hear that. You know, imagine you been ruling for, I can't even say the number how long they've been ruling. They've been ruling for a long damn time. That's how much we've been going off, right? You've been ruling for so long, and then you hear somebody tell you to go into slavery. You going into slavery, but you damn near really can't see how you're gonna go into slavery. Hey, that'll hurt. It should hurt. You know, it should hurt. That's a dreadful sound in their ears, right? It says, in prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. Who was that destroyer? Yahweh Shai, man. He was that destroyer in Egypt. He's going to do it again in spiritual Egypt. The Most High is going to send him back again, man. And it's going to be worse than the first. It's going to be worse than the first. Man, right? Verse 22, it says, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. Hey, man, they trying to extend their days on this place. The number of his years is hidden. They trying to extend their days. Everything we say is dreadful to them, right? Some believe it, some may not, but they still try to prolong their kingdom, right? So, hey, the sword is waiting for him. Verse 23, it says, he runneth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. That darkness is coming. These elites know what's coming. These elites know what's coming, man. They know what's coming, right? The day of darkness is coming. It ain't nothing they can do about it, right? So we go to verse 18, right? So like here. Hey, brother got a precept, you get one.
Right. Like the brother was saying, right, when these other nations, they see us, right, they stand in fear. Right. They see that the spirit of the Lord is upon us when we teach. Right. And they know that we're speaking the truth. Like the brother said, that's why they smile, they face turn red, and there's nothing they can do to stop this truth. Right. This is Zechariah chapter 8, verse 3. It reads, thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth and a mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Right? So, hey, man, this truth is the truth. And the Lord, he's returned unto his people. So when they see us, right, that's why the Lord said in Matthew 18, verse 20, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So they see the spirit of the Lord upon us, and it's a great terror unto these nations. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. Right? Let me get this precept in Wisdom of Solomon. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It reads, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. Right? And we stand in great boldness. Right? And that's what they hate. They hate to see the so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans to be united. Standing in great boldness. We don't fear the police. We don't fear men. We only fear the Most High. It reads, and made no account of his labors. Right? And they think what we do is foolish. They think us reading the Bible and actually proclaiming judgment to these nations is foolish. It reads, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Right? And when the Lord actually does what he said that he was going to do, when he fulfills the promises that he promised to our forefathers, these other nations, it's going to be strange to them. Right? But we know that we've been waiting for this time for a long time. It reads, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. Right? And they call us all type of names. right? They try to do anything to get brothers out the spirit, say anything, make clips, make videos, defame the ministry, etc. All because they want to stop this truth. They don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear that their kingdom is coming to an end. It reads, "We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor." Right? Sometimes we go out there when it's raining, the freezing below codes, right? The 100-degree weathers, right? And we push this word out regardless of what brothers got to say, or what man got to say, rather, regardless of who step up, no matter if they, high or low, rich or poor, right? This truth has to go out. And it says, "in his end to be without honor," right? And they think that we're doing this for no reason. But we know that it's a reward to this. We know that it's riches laid up in heaven for us. We know that we're going to enter into our promised land, right? So our end is not without honor. It reads, "How is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot is among the saints," right? Verse 6, "Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We weary ourselves in a way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it." Right? So they don't know the ways of the Lord. They don't know what righteousness is. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Right? It's impossible. Right? It's not for them. This truth is not for them. We know salvation is only for the children of Israel. Right? So when we proclaim the downfall of these other nations, chiefly Babylon, right? Hey, that's their downfall is how we get out of here. Right? So we can't try to save this place. Right? This place has to go down. This is Sirach, this is Psalms chapter 58. Man, I'm gonna start from the top. It reads, "Do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth." This is the point. "The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." Right? So we know that these they will do anything to lie, to cover up the truth, right? To steer the flock, right? To proclaim their own works and their own judgments. Like the brother was saying, they think America's going to be great again, right? They say MAGA, they wear the hats, they have the signs, it's in the bios, right? They really think that this place is going to get better. But when we read the Bible, when we go into these scriptures and find out the truth, we know that this place has an end, right? And with that, I yield.
Kai, you got a precept, Mama? So?
Hi, you can get back in there. I had something for what you had earlier, but it slipped my mind now.
Okay, Kai, praise.
You muted.
Kai, yeah, Salakia. Yeah, this place gotta go, man. This place gotta go. Right? They want to make America great again. But they know their days are numbered. And I know that time is coming. This is why they doing so much to have it to last. It's madness, man. Right, so this Isaiah chapter 19, verse 18. It says, "In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction." Right? So that 5 cities is speaking about, a amount of man that's going to come back to the Most High. Those 5 cities, right? And 5 is a portion of a whole amount, right? We can go to Matthew chapter 25. Matthew chapter 25, right? So those 5 cities is a whole amount. Those are cities that's going to come back to the Most High, right? So Matthew chapter 25, verse 1, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom," right? Which is Yahushua. and 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish, right? So 5 is a portion of a whole amount, right? And you have some brothers that have the oil and some don't, right? And that destruction, the city of destruction, that destruction, it's not going to last. It's not going to last, but not long. It's not going to be a long destruction, right? That precept slipped my mind. Let me see that. That should be Revelations. Let's see. Hey, it said in 1 hour. In 1 hour, right? Brothers know what I'm talking about. Bringing out Bible Shah. It should be right. Revelation chapter 18, verse 10. It says, "Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city. For in 1 hour is thy judgment come." 1 hour, man. Right? So that 1 hour. That destruction is going to last, but not long. It's not going to be long. Right? So they're going to come back, to the Most High, speaking the language of Canaan. Right? Let's get that. What's that? Let's get Romans. Let's get Romans chapter 10. Romans chapter 10, verse 8. Move on. Right? Romans chapter 10, verse 8. It says, "But what saith it? The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart. That is the word of faith which we preach." Right? Speaking of faith, which is the language of Canaan. Right? Let's get one more precept. Zephaniah. Through the Spirit. Zephaniah. Why not? Most I want me to go to it. Right? Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve with one consent." See that? So Isaiah 19:18, it says, "And they shall find cities in the land of Egypt, speak the language of Canaan." That language is, speaking of faith. That language is of faith. Right? So we could jump down to verse Isaiah chapter 19, verse 19, right? So it says, "In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord." Right? So who is that altar? Right? That's us. We're building a spiritual altar to brothers who's doing the work, who go out there on the highways and byways, doing videos, right? Hey, we'll build, it's that spiritual altar that brothers and sisters are building. Right? Let's get that. Revelations 11, verse 1. Right? This Revelations chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "And there was given to me a reed like unto a rod, and an angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of Yahweh and the altar, and them that worship therein." Hey, so that altar and the temple, hey, it's the people. That's us, man. This is why they were so confounded with Yahweh Shai. He said, "I will destroy this temple, and the third day it shall be built again." And they was like, what is he talking about? Because that's us, man. Right? That's crazy. They was confounded. What the hell are you talking about, man? Building in 3 days. Man, building in 3 days. Yeah, man, Israel carnal, man. All right. Carnal as hell. Right? So we go to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 20.
I got a quick precept on that too.
Come on, bring it out.
This is Exodus chapter 24, verse 4. And it reads, "And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel." Right, so like the brother was saying, right, this altar is built for us, right, for the 12 tribes of Israel, right? That's why I said in Isaiah chapter 19, in verse 19, "In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord." Right, we're building an altar, right? We're doing the work, right? We are being offered to the Most High, That's why we have to make our bodies a living sacrifice, like it reads in Romans chapter 12, right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 5. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for God proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in a furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. Right? So we are that offering. Right? This is for the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? This is all for the Most High. Whether it's fast, right? Throw up prayers. Right? This is a spiritual temple. Our bodies are temples. All right, let me get that real fast. In 1 Corinthians. All right, let me get that real fast. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? Right? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. Right? So we are the temple. Right? We are that holy temple. Right? That's why we got to make sure we repent. We clean our temple. Right? And we do all things to offer up to the Most High in righteousness and in purity. Right? But brothers got it. I just wanted to get that real fast.
God. See that? Hey man, you destroy the temple, the Lord gonna destroy you. As Esau is destroying the temple of the Lord, man. This is where he gotta go. Defiling the food, defiling the food, spraying the soil, and just he just a damn devil, man. Man, right?
Food, it's not even called pork anymore. Just going off.
Oh, that's madness, man.
Eat,
I got a precept too.
Come on, bring it up.
It's excuse my voice. It's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 3. It says, I'm gonna start at verse 4. It says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worshiped. Like now, the people in the truth, y'all probably heard this. This is kind of like a classic now, but hey, this can't be talking about nobody else but Esau. Because they didn't paint Christ to look like nothing else but Esau. I've never seen an Asian Christ. Where's the Mexican Jesus at? You feel what I'm saying? But they always paint them to look like them because they always exalt themselves to be God. And this is what Paul was talking about. Let's keep reading. It says, above all that is called God or that is worshiped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? So him representing himself as God sits in the temple of God. And like the brother just brought out, the brother Gadiawan just brought out in 1 Corinthians, we are the temple of God. So he literally sits in us, showing himself that he is God. Because what other race is God to us but them? Right? Every time we at camp and we talking about black unity and Dominican unity, Puerto Rican unity. First thing that our people want to say is, what about them? Right? It can never just be us having our own thing. It's always, well, what about them? When we see y'all walking down the street with y'all snow bunnies trying to hurry up across the street like we didn't see you coming, because you know we gonna say something, you know what I'm saying? All of these different types of things is how we look at this race of people as if they God. They literally see deep in our heart as God. Right? Just think, it's people who won't even speak up against some of the police brutality and all that type of stuff. They won't speak on it. Like, it happens in all these different cities, and you got it after I said this, Daiwan. You got this going on in all these different cities, but it's some people who literally act like it's not happening. They act like you just got some irrational fear if you just don't want to be around the police, and these people be tripping because, like it said in the scripture, hey, that white man sit deep in the temple of God. What you got out?
That's right. right? And these other nations, they'll do anything to stop us from receiving our inheritance, right? Being on thrones, right? Being the heads of the earth, right? Being the kings, the princes, the judges, right? They will do anything to destroy us, right? This first Maccabees chapter 5 from the top. It reads, now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much, right? And they hate this. They hate that brothers not having an evil eye toward each other. They hate that we keeping these law, statutes, and commandments, right? They hate that we actually trying to build up our nation in righteousness. It reads, verse 2, wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them, and thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people. Right, and that time is coming back on the earth, man. Right, that time where brothers gonna be persecuted for this word, right, for this testimony that they hold, for believing in Yahweh Shai and actually doing all that they can to worship the Most High. Right, these other nations, they gonna seek to destroy us, man, because it displeased them. Because they know once the Most High is amongst us, their nation is coming to an end. They know that once the Lord is with us, there's nothing they can do to stop us. Right? That's why, like Rahab the harlot, hey, these other nations, they fear our God, man. Right? When the Most High is with us, these other nations, they gonna tremble. Right? Oh, you an Israelite? Right? That's why they gonna seek to take hold of our fringes, man. Right? You had a point, Mama, sir?
I had a precept in Nehemiah that just basically saying what you was just saying. And in First Maccabees 5, I'm gonna read it right quick, and then you got it. It's Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 10. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So this is not a new thing, like like we going into. This is literally hating in the Bible. Like if that ain't hating, I don't know what hating is. They was upset because just like we do out on the street and like we doing on this video, we trying to reach to our people. There are other races of people on the outside who hate the fact that we focusing on us and not on them. What you got?
No, that's right, man. And it's really out of jealousy, right? Because when you read the book of Genesis, right, the covenant was supposed to be given to Esau because he was the oldest, right? But he sold his birthright. Now the promises and everything is laid up for us, right? So they really jealous that the Most High has favor with the children of Israel, right, and not with these other nations. They know that we have power with our God, right? Let me get this. This is Psalms chapter 79, verse 1, and then a brother got it next. It reads, "O God, the heathen are come into thine inheritance. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps." Right? Just going into the holies of holies, just taking all the holy vessels, right? The menorah, right? The table of showbread, right? The Ark of the Covenant, right? They just coming in. Now they coming into us, man. Right? They put, that's why on every corner you see what? A liquor store. You see 5 churches on one block. Right? You see just all type of madness, all these agendas they pushing on Jake, right? The alphabet community, right? Just all type of madness to defile the holy temple, man. It reads, the dead bodies of thy servants have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven, the flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth, man. And these other nations, they profit off our downfall, right? So again, right, like the brother was saying, right, we are the altar, man. But the brother got it.
God, brothers bringing it out, man. See that? All praise to the Most High, right? I had a precept too. Oh yeah, Con. Yeah, we get back to Isaiah 19, right? Verse 20. All right, we can read verse 19 again. In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. Right. So that altar, right? the temple is the body of Israel, right? All praise to the Most High. Verse 20, and it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt, for they shall cry unto Egypt, Salakia, for they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. Right? So the Lord is going to send another savior. Who is that? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Right? Let's get Exodus chapter 2. Because who was that savior, in the land of Egypt? Who did the Lord send? All right. It's Exodus chapter 2, verse 23. Right? It said, and it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel signed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto Yahweh by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. Right? So it says, for they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. And we crying out to the Most High right now, right? Because of this bondage. Brothers tired of going to work. You waking up 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5, 6, 7. Then you got brothers working night shift, which is evil, very evil, so evil. Then you got brothers working in the middle of the shift. You got damn 2 p.m. to 11, 2 p.m. to 11, and 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. Like that's madness, man. That's evil, man. Barely can spend time with your kids, right? Your check could be short. Esau want to play with your hours. Hey, we're crying up to the Most High, man, right? And the Lord is going to send Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? And who that Lord called, who the Most High called to be a savior in the land of Egypt? That was Moses, right? It was Moses to free the people. 80-year-old man. 80-year-old man with his older brother, 83. That's mighty, right? Verse 21, and the Lord shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day, and shall do sacrifice and abomination and oblation, Shalakia. Yeah, they shall vow a vow unto the Lord and perform it. So it's not talking about the Edomites. Some reason people like to say that the Egyptians, see, he's for everybody. No, you definitely not even reading, right? No context whatsoever, but it's going into Israel still. Why? Because we were called Egyptians, right? We were called Egyptians. Let's get that. Isaiah 27, verse 12, right? It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall be off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt, and ye shall gather one by one, O ye children of Israel, right? Verse 12, let's get another precept. Isaiah 11. Hey, because we was called Egyptians, man, right? Isaiah 11, verse 15. It says, and the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make man go over dry shod, right? So as you see, I'm gonna read on down, and there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt, right? So, hey, we was also called Egyptians because we lived there. Paul was a Roman. Was that his nationality? No, right? He called himself that because he has citizenship in Rome, but that doesn't make him his nationality. Just like I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jacob was called Canaan. He was a Canaanite, as they like to say, right? So that dry shod That's literally the seven streams, meaning a complete destruction of America. Right? Instead of walking on dry land, we're going to be lifted up in the chariots. There's going to be on a spiritual level, us splitting through the sea, the Red Sea, us going through the Red Sea. Right? Let's go back to Isaiah. Right? That's a fire precept. I'm about to read that again, man. Right? This Isaiah chapter 11, verse 15. It says, "And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite in the seven streams, and make men go over dry shod." Right? The seven streams meaning complete destruction of America. America is going to a complete destruction. It's not finna be no damn only half of America destroyed, and Jake gonna find a way to try to make himself feel good in this place. They think it's not gonna get destroyed. You got a point? You can bring it out.
And I just want to land off of what you said earlier, how that we were called the Egyptians, right? Because when it's like when Joseph was buried, you had the other nations saw the Israelites mourning, or rather his sons mourning, and they called them Egyptians, right? This is Genesis chapter 50, start at verse 5, and then I'm gonna drop down. All right, just a quick point. It reads, "My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die in my grave, which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan. There shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again." Right? This is him talking. This is Joseph talking to Pharaoh, saying, "You know what? My father and I, we made a promise. I got to go bury him." Right? I'm gonna drop down. It reads, verse 7, "And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph, and his brethren, and his father's house. Only their little ones and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen." Right, I'm going to drop down. It reads, verse 10, "They came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days." Right, so they mourned for 7 days. That was a normal custom to, mourn, cry, reminisce all the times that y'all had, and then after those 7 days, move on with life. Verse 11, "And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan." Right, so they seen Joseph and his brothers, and they said, "Hey man, this is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians." Right, so it was hard to tell us apart. That's why the Lord, when he was a child, they had fled to Egypt, right? Because you had Herod during that time seeking to persecute and find Christ, right? So it wasn't a crazy phenomenon to assume that we were Egyptians, because that's how these other nations looked at us, right? It was hard to tell us apart, right? But you got it.
Hey, that's a mighty precept, man. I'm gonna bring this precept because, hey, damn, if I'm not mistaken, one of the daughters of Jethro called Moses an Egyptian. See that? This Exodus chapter 2 and verse 19 get to the point. I'm gonna get right to the point. I'm gonna start at 18. "And when they came to Reuel, their father," right, which is another name for him, right, "he said, How is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, An Egyptian deliver us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock." Moses is not an Egyptian. He's an Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Levi. But you couldn't really tell us apart like that, And hey, that lets you know that in Isaiah 19, when it says Egyptians, you're speaking about Israel. When you go into the context of what's going on in the chapter, First of all, the Lord is not saving no Egyptian. The Lord is not saving no Edomite or Moabite or Assyrian. He's not saving none of that. So you can get that out your head. You can bring whatever precept you want, because we can clearly link it up with what's it need to be linked up with. You know, they like to just pick precepts just to fit their flesh when it's not of the spirit. No understanding whatsoever, right? So, hey, we were called Egyptians, man. If I'm not mistaken, that should be a so-called statue of Joseph, right? And I believe they knocked his nose off. I could be wrong. You know, this was a while ago that I seen it. And yeah, they, you know, I mean, you couldn't even tell the other 11 tribes couldn't even tell if that was Joseph or not. He looked so much like an Egyptian. You know, let's bring that out. One more precept through the spirit. They couldn't even tell, right? They could not tell whatsoever. Right? It's Genesis, right? Let's get it. Let me see. Right. Genesis chapter 42, verse 23. It says, and they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. Right. Let me jump up real quick. Let me see. Because they didn't even recognize their own brother. Right. All right, so Lakia, bear with me. Right. So I'm gonna start at verse 7. It says, and Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. So they couldn't even tell if that was him or not. They couldn't even really tell. They like, man, this Egyptian ruler, man, we better not go off. You know, we hungry as hell. Popsy sick, and you know, he hungry too. We gotta eat. You know, he sent us all the way to get food, and we don't get food. He might get strength and, you know, beat us, man. You know? So so like, hey, they didn't know who he was. Why? Because he had to dress as an Egyptian, and he made sure he wasn't known unto his brethren. You know, he had to shave. And I bet not hear no heathen or a coon. He broke the law. He said, brother, he was, even though he was ruling, he was still under Pharaoh. You know, so he was shaving. You know how they customs, the little, hey, Joseph was rocking it, man. But it was all of the Most High, just so he can take care of his people, right? So we go to Isaiah, right? We go right back to Isaiah 19, right? Isaiah 19. So those Egyptians are Israelites, man. Those Egyptians are Israelites, right? Isaiah 19 and verse 22. And the Lord shall smite Egypt. He shall smite and heal it, and they shall return even to the Lord, and he shall be entreated of them and shall heal them. Right. So the Egypt is talking about Israel. When did you hear about the Lord is healing the Egyptians? Do you read that in Exodus? Where did he heal them? Please tell me that. Where did he heal them? Let me know. I need to know this. It says, and the Lord shall smite Egypt, and he shall smite and heal it. When did he heal it? Is he going to heal America? No. What makes you think he's going to heal America for all the sins that they committed? First of all, the law was never given to him. The law was only given to Israel. So if the law was only given to us, the Lord allowed us to be able to be healed, whoever that he called. Nobody is called in these other nations but the Israelites. right? It says, and they shall return even to the Lord, and shall be entreated of them, and shall heal them. The Lord is not healing no Edomite. He's not doing that, right? Verse 23. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. That's speaking about southern kingdom and northern kingdom. Northern kingdom was captive in the Assyrian captivity in 722 BC, right? Shalmaneser was deporting them brothers, right? Our ancestors. This is why I said Assyrian, and the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and Egyptian into Assyria. We were scattered all four corners of the earth. Let's get that, right? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there shalt thou serve other gods. Hey, this is one of the curses. So why is the Lord is finna heal Egyptians and Assyrians and gather all the Egyptians and Syrians? And now, see, this that doctrine of everybody is one. You just want everybody together so much. How are we together when the Lord, since the foundation of the earth, split everybody apart, gave them their own language while we have ours? It doesn't make sense. Gave their own land while we have ours. Really, the world is built for our sakes. See that? So really nothing is yours. It's ours. But the Lord set bounds for the nations, right? The Lord set us apart. We're holy. So why would the Lord want us to dwell amongst heathens? Which Jacob and Israelites did. But as you see, we had our own land, right? We had our own substance, man, right? And we serving other gods. We serving other gods, man. That's crazy. So all the tribes is going to come back together, man. This is the prophecy that's going to happen. It's happening right now. We see it in our eyes, man. More Northern Kingdom is coming together in the body doing the work. Obviously, you got Southern Kingdom, but you got more Northern Kingdom. I need to see more Ephraimites, though. I need to see more Reubenites, man. I need to see more Gadites, man. You know, Dan, hey, they hidden, man. You don't know who Dan is. Somebody may find out they Dan, you know, in the kingdom. But as of right now, I need to see that. I need to see more Zebulonites, Naphtali, right? I need to see more Northern Kingdom. But it's happening, right? All praise to the Most High, right? Let's get another precept, right? Zechariah through the Spirit. Right, Zechariah through the Spirit. Oh, Salaki. Salaki, bear with me. Zechariah chapter 10, verse 9. Zechariah chapter 10, verse 9. And I will sow them among the people, and they shall remember me in far countries, and they shall live with their children and turn again. I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt and gather them out of Assyria. Now, you OT onlys, what is that going into? Right? Why does it say I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt? When was Israel back into Egypt again? Right? When did the Lord bring a ship? They went back into Egypt, and Pharaoh said, I'm gonna deal wisely with them. And our babies getting killed. And when is that happening? Again, right? And when did it happen? When Northern Kingdom went back into Assyria, man? When did that happen again? Right? It says, and I will bring them into the land of Gilead and Lebanon, and place shall not be found for them. Right? So we all gonna come together again, man. We're all gonna be one. Right? Verse 24, it says, in that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land, whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, blessed be Egypt, my people, and the seer the work of my hands, and Israel my inheritance. We were just scattered to all the four corners of the earth, man. The Lord is not saving no other nation. Why would the Lord say, I'm only sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel? Why would that even change? The Lord doesn't change, man. Right? Let's get that. Malachi. Malachi. All right, a couple more precepts. All right. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. It says, For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Right? Don't be consumed of the other things that they say that is not of the scriptures. Or they bring a precept and they have no understanding. They don't have the spirit. They don't know what they're talking about. The Lord literally said himself, I change not. When did the Lord change? Let me know. Right? Let's get one in the New Testament. Hebrews 13 and 8. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 8. Yahushua, the same yesterday and today and forever. It said Yahushua the same yesterday and today and forever. So if the Most High don't change, what makes you think Yahushua is going to change? You got some people think that Yahushua came on earth and changed the ordinance of the Most High. That's basically what they saying. Yeah, he said his own laws and no, right? So hey, this is the fall of America, man. This place is gonna get demolished, right? And we see it to this day, right? So let's get one more precept, and if you got one, you can bring it out. That's my last precept, all right?
It's like I had to bounce out and bounce back in. My connection been tripping for like the past 20 minutes.
Con, I'm already know. All of a sudden you dealing with that Satan.
I want to get this one good precept, right?
You
It's Psalm chapter 49. All right. Because as the scripture say, we got to all work out our own salvation and all that. We can't save that man next to us, and America is that man next to us because of a nation is made by the people. The people make the nation. You feel what I'm saying? The Irish people is what makes Ireland what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So America is the same way. So them people you go to work with, them people when you go to the Pacers game and the Cavaliers game, and them people in the stands with you, jumping around, spilling beer on themselves, you have no way to save them from what's coming to America. Right? No way to save them. It's Psalms chapter 49, and let's just start at verse 1. Hear this, all ye people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world. So you're talking to everybody, right? And it says, you drop down to verse 6. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. There's no, I don't care how, because America, they hide behind their wealth. When we was growing up, at least in my generation, all we heard was America is the richest country. America is what did Donald Trump say? Make America great again. Where did that come from? What great again is he trying to make? He's talking about when they was the superpower after the Cold War. When they was the one everybody had to speak English. Everybody had to do business in the US dollar. He said now for that country, which is the country we in right now is America, there's no one who can redeem his brother or give God a ransom for him. Nobody. It's over with. The destruction is sealed. Right, let's keep reading. Verse 8. For the redemption of their soul is precious and it ceases forever. That he should still live forever and not see corruption. For he seeth that wise men die. Likewise, the fool and the brutish person perish and leave their wealth to others. So he see that, hey, he gonna die one day. I mean, what do Esau do? We was just talking about the bunkers earlier. You know what I'm saying? And even them dirty Egyptians back in the day. They used to bury themselves with their cats and they gold and they used to bury themselves with all of their material wealth to take it with them into the ancient. These types of things, these foolish ways of thinking about how to preserve their wealth has been in man forever. So it's nothing new with America. And America, we know, is just it's Egypt and Babylon. You feel what I'm saying? You look on the back of your US dollar, if America ain't Egypt, why they got a pyramid on the back of it? You know what I'm saying? So this is what's really going on. Let's get this last verse, and then I yield with that. This is my last precept. Psalms chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And like I think the brother Kadayawan brought it up earlier, like, hey, these people really think that this place gonna last forever, man. They actually believe it's America forever. You know, hey, at my plantation, when you walk into the locker room, they got a magnet up on the lockers, big magnet that say, "These colors don't run, never have, never will." And it's an American flag on it. You feel what I'm saying? So the pride that they feel, even with Donald Trump, with these like just the pride of America, they truly believe that their house is gonna continue forever. But we know that, hey, it's only a matter of time. Like what you said earlier, Small Wall, is only an hour. It's only gonna take an hour. Hey man, an hour go quick, especially when you're having fun, man. So hey, but I'll yield with that though.
I just had like two precepts, right? Like the brother was saying, just to land off of what he was going into, right? We know when it's talking about Assyrian, Egyptian, and Egypt, Slakia, he's talking about his people. Literally says my people, right? And Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, my inheritance. So we know that the Lord is coming back to save his people, the Israelites. It's not talking about everyone. We know that the Lord don't change, right? This is Psalms chapter 102 and verse 25. Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. They shall perish, but thou shalt endure. Yea, all of them shall wax old like a garment, as a vesture shalt thou change them, and they shall be changed, but thou art the same, and thy years shall have no end. Right? So we know that the Most High, he doesn't change, man. Just because men die, right, time goes on, right? Time is non-existent for the Most High. The Most High, he doesn't confine himself to man's ideologies and science. Right? The Most High, he made science. He made the earth. He made the heavens. Man changed, but the Most High don't change. He is. He exists. Right? So when the Lord promised our forefathers, right, when the Lord gave these prophecies to his prophets, right, the Lord, he's going to save his people. That's what he's going to do. Right? Let me get this last precept. And the brother's got it. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they called thee an outcast. Right? So the Most High, he's going to restore us. He's going to set us up great again. I mean, for hundreds and hundreds of years, we've been mocked, a proverb, a reproach. Right? We are outcasts. Right? We're a widow. Right? Israel is a widow. Right? We're in all black. Right? Like it says, as like Songs of Solomon chapter 1, right? Her gates are black like unto the ground, like our walls, man. Right? It reads, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Right? And our nation is likened unto a comely and beautiful woman, man. Right? But no man seeketh after. And like the brother was going into earlier, right? A woman without no man, she's defenseless, man. Right? You got beasts roaming through to and fro our nation, defiling the temple, defiling the altar, everything that the Most High gave to us, man. Right? We're just without our husband, man, which is Yahushua. But we know that Yahushua, he's going to come back and he's going to deliver us and save us. Right? Reading on, verse 18. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be built upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. Right? Once we're set up, it's going to remain that way. It's not going to be another captivity. Right? Jake, you won't have to fear no more. right? You can stay up all night to the porch lights, right? You can, right? You don't got to go on when the street lights come on. You don't got to worry about nobody you don't got to worry about taxes. You don't got to worry about clocking in, right? You're going to be able to rest from all your labors, man. That's our expectation, man. That's our hope, right? So the Lord, he doesn't change, and these promises will come to pass. With that, I yield.
All praise to the Most High, man. And with all that being said, right, you got to set your household in order just by the prophecy that we're going into. If you don't set your household in order, you're going to get caught out there as a thief in the night. Right, let's get that, right? Sirach chapter 27, verse 3. It says, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord. What is the fear of the Lord, though? You know, people always, you got, last week you had so many people having a sweater that says fear God. Everybody had on fear God. They fear God, and they don't even know what that really means. Because if you fear the Most High, you fear his judgments. But everything you do it willingly. You don't even think about the Most High. You don't think about his judgments. You don't even know the judgments of the Lord. Everything you do, you think it's a coincidence. You think that, oh, it's Mother Nature. It's madness. It says, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, because these judgments, the Lord judgments are coming on spiritual Egypt. It's coming to Babylon. It's coming. And time is ticking. Doomsday is coming. There's no coincidence that Esau want to build bunkers and these homesteads and damn this land that you haven't heard of, undergrounds, and hey, it's a reason why they doing this. Why you got Jake still out want to play the game all day. He want to play the game all night. He want to roll up a backwood. He always trying to drink. He always wants some Henny, right? He love his job. He planning on 401k. He said, hey man, I put half of my check in. They say I'm tweaking, but shoot, I could retire at like 50, brother. First of all, you don't even know if you're gonna live that long. The Lord is gonna require your soul, and you have done nothing for the Lord on the time when you was on this earth. So these judgments is coming. So it says, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. How it's gonna be overthrown? From the plagues that the Lord sent on ancient Egypt, it's gonna happen on spiritual Egypt, and you're gonna be overthrown by it. That west wind, man, is gonna blow right over you, and you're gonna be caught out there, right? So if you don't hold yourself diligent and fear the Lord, repent, fast, study, right? Love your brother, the body, man. Hey, most I will, and you endure all things. Hey, most I will, and you'll be saved, man. Right? And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashim, Masha, Guanlak, Yahweh Shah, Kwam Yashrella. Stay diligent, man, and keep watch. Shalom.
Shalom.